My summer days June Zakka kit has actually just arrived. Perfect timing because I'm getting ready to settle in and do a bit more of my joy journaling. I've fallen behind on it, unfortunately, because I have just been so busy. Some pages I've been so busy I haven't even had time to grab stickers, which is so surreal for me. But I miss keeping up with it every morning, and I can tell the difference when I have been joy journaling every morning. And again, you can see the pages where there's no stickers or washi tape. I was just exhausted and couldn't even reach for it. And it makes such a difference when I can tell the story of my life and what's going on and really try to slow down and focus on the joy. So I want to make sure that I journal again, and I want to spend some time. I actually am going to start turning my computers off and just sitting down every morning with my birds, some hot tea, thinking about life and cultivating gratitude for where I'm at. Because you always have this pressure to go further, to do more. But if you can be happy in the moment, I think that's the biggest superpower that you could ever give yourself. And that's where, hilariously enough, a bunch of random stationery kits come in so that I can really have fun working on my journals. And it helps on the days where I feel like I'm behind on life to just look at a cute sticker and not be able to take myself so seriously. So Zakka kit, they come from Japan. This is not sponsored or anything. I just really love the style and the design. They're usually a lot more, oh look at the cute little washi tape. They're usually a lot more retro than what I would normally get myself, but sometimes they're really full of super duper cute things. So what do we have this month? June theme, summer days. Look at the cute little cat face. I've always loved that. Celebrate summer with these classic Japanese stationery pieces. These charming stationery pieces from Classici, Life Stationery, and more are made with love by Japanese designers and artists. Alright, and then on the back, there we go. On the back it'll tell you a little bit of detailed information about everything, but I'm not going to peek just yet. Let's go ahead. Oh, washi tape! You can tell the thing that I love the most. So, alright. Already got some washi tape right here. Very cute. Again, you can see that retro style. Normally I go for something that would be like a little more vibrant, a little bit more nature related. But honestly, today feels like a nice slow morning to think about some sort of fictional peach tea cafe filled with greenery, which I guess is my office if you think about it. And to just maybe put a line of this down and then think about things in a little bit more of a subdued note, and maybe that'll help me slow down and just kind of appreciate where I'm at. Oh, is that, oh, I see, she's holding a really cute little birthday cake. That's adorable. Oh, I love washi tape. I really, really love washi tape. And that's Blue Girl Washi Tape by Classici and Mihoki Seki. And a nostalgic summery blue tape designed by the famous Kyoto brand artist Mihoki Seki. This tape is unique because it comes in extra wide 24 millimeters. Use it to decorate your journal, notes, gift cards, parcels, and more. Totally will. I'm still a washi tape addict. I have too much of it. I need to use more of it, which means I need to journal more. And then, oh, is this a notebook? Cool! A little notebook, Life Notable Collections. Very adorable. Must be from the Life brand they were mentioning. And I've noticed that a lot of the stationery that I get in my Zakka kits, these are like the notebooks and the notepads and paper, it's in grid pattern, which made so much sense when I thought about it, because from Japan you're going to be writing, instead of vertical, or horizontal, you're going to be writing vertical, right to left, and so and you're going to be using characters in kanji, so it made sense that you would have all of your writing paper look like this, versus here we have lined paper. So that's really fun. Cute little notebook. Little stickers! Oh, look at you guys! What do we have here? Oh, it's a little goldfish. Okay. Look at them! We've got some little goldfish shadows. Very cute, very cute. I like them, I like them. Definitely going to use these. They're very serious, but some days are meant to be more serious than other days. And then, that's a bird. That is definitely a bird. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Oh, wow. Wow, look at this. That's gorgeous. How am I even going to use this paper? This is so beautiful. I mean, I don't really send a lot of people letters. I send postcards to my patrons, but there's not enough to use all of it for that. But this may sound really weird because you probably are supposed to write notes to other people in it. I wonder if it'd be really fun to just write like a little note to myself, my future self, and tuck it into my joy journal and then come back to it when I reread the joy journal in the future. And that sounds so silly, but how nice would it be to open this up and read my hopes and dreams for my future self, and hope that some of those things were solved and some of the problems that I'm facing are no longer being faced by my future self, and then just tuck such a beautiful little note into one of the pages of my joy journal, forget about it, and come back to it when I flip them open to review it. I think that would be very nice. Being compassionate to yourself is something I've always struggled with, and that might be a really fun way to do it, and to also use the stationery. And then, oh, look at that. Wow, okay. And we've got a really beautiful, vibrant, gold-colored pencil right here. It's kind of hard to see because it's so slim and small. But this is, let's see, colored pencil number 888. Okay. And I think that this would probably give me a great metallic sheen from the looks of it. My favorite metallic pieces that I have for like pens and pencils are actually all Japanese products, and the metallic sheen holds up really well. So now I've got one. Oh, that would be kind of nice actually, to just like color something. Huh. Maybe I'll sign my little note with the colored pencil. That's very pretty. And then this one, what do we have here? Clean color real brush. Whoa. Wow, and look at that. Oh my gosh. What a nice look. My mom, who used to run a scrapbook store, maybe that's where I get this stationery kick I'm in, would probably love this. Let's see. Ooh! Oh my gosh, it writes so smoothly. Okay, that's gonna be really nice. And it's purple, which is one of my favorite colors. So A+, I'm very happy about that. I have a slowly evolving group of pens and pencils that are all from my Zakka kits that are really high quality pieces. So there we go, there's that. Oh, and then we've got some origami paper. Oh, that's so exciting. I should fold those into some paper cranes and add them to my collection. Oh, and there's actually birds on one of them. Ooh, and flowers on another. Oh, those are very pretty. I like that as a little extra touch. Again, I could like write a note to myself. I could write a note to Chips. I could go ahead and fold them. Oh, this is so cute. Oh, see, I want to write a little note to myself now. Gosh, I didn't expect to come out of this going like, oh, I want to be nice to myself, but that's really fun. To imagine how you would use it is what I look at all of these pieces at. And I guess it's kind of silly to be so obsessed with stationery lately, but when you think of them as tools to try to create something kind, it really changes how I see all of it. There we go. Much, much better. Oh, I needed that. I really needed that. I made a crane. The first one that I have actually made in a very, very, very long time. I actually had to look up on WikiHow how to make paper cranes again, but I have many of them scattered around my room from different phases of my life, and it was just really fun to make another one out of the really cute origami paper that showed up in the little Zakka kit. And it felt really good to just sit down and fold each piece and recall the memories of how many cranes I have learned how to make over the years, and add this one to my list. So it's my little farm animal crane, which is really fun. But I feel so much better now. I have not journaled in a few days, and that's because I've been working so hard on the main channel. Just go, 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 constantly trying to produce as many videos as I possibly can, to the point where my voice is actually starting to go. And that's because there's so many ways to measure YouTube. There's so many ways to measure what you're doing. The analytics are ridiculously specific. If you guys have never like tried uploading videos and following analytics, basically you can track everything, where people around the world are watching your videos, exactly down to the second of how long they watch your videos. You can see the total views across all of the library that you have. And I try so hard not to think about those things very often because it can become so overwhelming. It can just completely wipe you out to just have everything you do measured and always feel like you're never measuring up. There's always going to be a bigger YouTuber out there, and I'm not trying to say I even want that. I don't want fame. I don't want to see my channel skyrocket in growth just so that more people will know my name or something like that. That's wonderful if that's your goal and you do it in a healthy way that tries to benefit yourself and others. But it's not what I want to do. I just want to be a storyteller and a teacher and somebody who can slow down and talk about the simple things in life that can bring almost anyone joy, that you don't have to buy and you don't have to wait for someone else to give you, that you can just have for yourself. And sometimes when I fret and worry and watch those numbers and attach things like, am I making people happy enough to those numbers, and use it as a scale of making my audience happy. Or sometimes when I look at it and I attach the well-being of my family to those numbers, it makes you tailspin, because then every little ebb and flow, which is natural in, like, I guess an attention industry like this, then you panic. You're like, oh no, it's gone down by 10,000 views from yesterday. What did I do wrong? My family's gonna live in a box on the street now. It's that kind of like anxiety that I'm so good at managing for the most part can override you. And when I thought about it earlier this morning, before I even started joy journaling, I realized all of the jobs that I've always hated and that have always felt like they scrape your soul dry are the jobs where every movement that you have is measured and accounted for and computerized and tracked. And the thing is, it's useful to have that data in a lot of ways, especially when you do YouTube and you do have your family's well-being attached to how well videos do. But it's really exhausting because it doesn't really touch on the heart of things. And I think that's why journaling and joy journaling in particular is so important to me, because the more I thought about it, the more I realized the way we're kind of set up, everything we do from when we're teeny tiny and in elementary school all the way to when we're working for a boss and like tracking our hours and our like, when I worked at a retail store, we were tracked by how quickly we could check things out, or all sorts of other little numbers and measurements. When I worked at the pet store, it was tracked by like how many sales you did and how many of this you sold. And so I realized that kind of measuring up is in everything. How many miles have you driven your car? How much student loan debt do you still have? How many pounds does the scale say? There's always so many ways to measure up and feel like you don't, that you just fall short. And so it's not just a YouTube thing and not just a analytics and YouTube sort of thing. And that's when I realized I needed to open up my joy journal this morning. And if we track and are tracked and have so many things in our lives measured, then why not measure our joy? I know a lot of people think the idea of joy journaling sounds really great, but they don't stick to it for very long because they feel like they have to start pretending. They have to start pretending like the world is just sunshine and roses and rainbows, and some days are really hard and some days really suck. And so I know a lot of people give up on joy journaling out of the sense that they feel like it's letting them down in some way. It's not true, it's not honest, it's just trying to pretty up their life, and it's not actually addressing when things are hard too. But I guess to that, I want to say, again, everything in our lives is measured in some way, subconsciously, consciously, maybe by our paychecks, maybe by our bosses, maybe by our schools and our grades. But so much of what we do in life, maybe by our birthdays even, is measured. I want to keep track and measure my joy, because that's the thing I'm going to look back on years later. Even on the hard days, I usually can find something to be grateful for, some memory that I can be happy for. And I think joy journaling transformed me the most on those hard days. I'm grateful that I was able to have really fantastic happy days, my birthday, traveling with chips, great days where I've worked hard, gone on a hike and saw something cool. But it's the hard days that made joy journaling worth it the most for me, because those hard days are the ones where I had to push past my anger and frustration with the world and with myself and be mindful and aware of the world around me. My joy journal contains so many entries where I just talk about the beauty of the tree outside, where the tree was beautiful. Maybe I messed up, maybe I lost my temper, maybe I let Chips down somehow because I prioritized working over playing a game with him and I didn't realize it till later. Maybe I didn't get anything I needed done, maybe I had some really bad family news that broke my heart. But the tree outside is still beautiful. And that is why I'm grateful for joy journaling. Because trying to sit down and write 3 things every day, and some days not having anything inside myself and having to go, but I still want to, like, I'm goal-oriented, list-oriented, I still want to fill this out. Having to be aware of the world around me, even when I was in a lot of pain or anger, and admit and crack that pain and anger open and admit, oh, that tree is still beautiful. Changed everything. It put so much in perspective for the turmoil that felt like it was, the whole universe was just this anger in my head. And I know all of us feel like that because we only live in our heads, you know? At some point we all feel like that. But having to crack open my anger, my pain, my boredom, my sense of not measuring up, and instead be aware of the tree and realize, oh, that actually, it brings me joy. If I can crack open my anger and admit it, looking at that tree and the beautiful green leaves brings me joy. The fact my birds are all healthy and alive and they're flying around their cage being gooseballs brings me joy. The fact that giraffes exist brings me joy. And on the days where I feel like I've really let myself down, it's really good to be able to measure that joy. So yeah, I'm rambling now. I didn't mean to really talk about mindfulness and measurement of joy. I just wanted to share some of my fun little joy moments with you guys. But I just wanted to say that because it sounds like it's all rainbows, puppies, kittens, and soft cloudy kisses, but it's not. That's not life. But being able to push past the cloud and the storm of your emotions, even if you feel like it's justified to be disappointed in your behavior or yourself, even if you feel like things just can't get better, sometimes it's not about working towards the future. It's more just about slowing down and looking around you in the moment. And that helps so much for me, and I hope it can help some of you. I am never going to measure up as a YouTuber. It feels really freeing to be able to say that. I am never going to be able to measure up to my own expectations. I am never going to be able to measure up with the expectations I feel hundreds of thousands of people who are strangers to me, for the most part, have for me. I'll never measure up in the ways that I have in my mind, because every time I thought I would, I've just moved the bar higher and higher and higher and higher. Every time I accomplish a goal I have held for so long on YouTube, I just move that bar again. So I'm never gonna measure up in terms of YouTube. And I spend all day, every day working on it. And so slowing down and writing in my journal this morning really helped me think about the things I do want to measure and keep track of. And that's the beauty and the joy of the world around me. In the end, those are the things that build up my heart. And those are the things that give me some essential energy that I feel I need in order to live my life with kindness and presence and love. And that's what I want in the end. And I don't think mercilessly being a workaholic is going to get me there. So yeah, a little bit of a like counseling session or something we're having here, but I'll talk more and unpack all of that in the future in littler snippets too. But yeah, so I don't know, maybe one of you really needed to hear that. I guess even though I was like a straight A student, I was in AP classes, I had a really high GPA, I got scholarships when I first went to university, I just always felt like I never measured up. And that sensation of never measuring up is probably why I flunked out of college twice. Because my anxiety attacks would not leave me alone. My depression deepened. I didn't leave the house or my basement bedroom for 2 to 3 years. And it's because I felt like I didn't measure up enough to do anything in life. And here I am now. And I think if I had thought about the things around me and measured the good things in my life so that they could balance out all the other things that have to be measured, my grades, how much I earned at my part-time job at the time, how much student loan I was taking on, there were other things that were already measuring my life. So if I had measured joy too, I think I would have found the balance to sustain myself. And that's what joy journaling is about for me. Finding the balance. Because those are all big things, and the things that I'm going to now tell you guys in my journal are small things. So yeah, I was really excited when I sat down and started working to start poking through my stickers because I felt kind of blah. I have made over 118 videos just in the last month. We're at 23 days in as of today. I have recorded 118 videos, not counting vlogs, not counting videos that aren't even scheduled to go out yet. And I still don't feel like I did enough. I feel like I'm letting people down. I feel like I am not pushing different series and their stories forward. I'm not trying new series that I should be. That is the productivity and the anxiety beast that an endless job that you can always do more at, which is what YouTube is, a creative career that you can do more and more and more and more, and there's never a limit to it, can do to you. And the things that I put down to measure my joy by today, they're small things, and I'm really grateful for that. But I was excited because I felt kind of stunned when I woke up this morning to use, I was excited to use my stickers. I woke up, felt stunned, felt that overwhelming, paralyzing, I'm not doing enough. I'm not measuring up to my own expectations or other people's expectations. And I didn't want to journal. And I knew I needed to. I knew I would feel better once I did. So that's why I pulled out the stickers. It all is full circle. It's silly, and I think that we all need more silliness and playfulness in our lives. And that too, back then, would have helped me. So sillily, I reached for my stickers. I was excited to use them. And just as I was trying to pick out which one I should use first, out of the corner of my eye and right in front of my office window, a blue heron flew by. We don't live near a lake anymore, so I do not see blue herons very often. The only time I get to see them during the year is when we go to North Carolina and walk the lake we used to live around, or when we very rarely, once a year, go to the Arboretum here and walk along the river. So I have never seen a blue heron in this neighborhood. And he flew right in front of my window. And a blue heron flying is both one of the most interesting, elegant, and utterly ungraceful and gawky things all at once to see. And I got to use my little shoe bill sticker because it's the nearest thing I had to a blue heron. And voila, he flew by my office window, and I realized I could not create, work, or produce something as cool as that moment, and that is a joy moment. So that was one of my joy moments I wrote down. And then another one of the joy moments that I wrote down was that yesterday Chips and I were walking home from the gym, and I finally convinced him to eat some wild mulberries, which again is not something you can create, not something you can buy, not something that someone can give you. It was an experience with the love of my life. Walking home, both of us exhausted from the gym, I was laughing and got really excited because we came up to the giant mulberry tree on our walk. I actually posted an Instagram story of it because it's the biggest mulberry tree I've ever seen. And I reached up and plucked a couple of the mulberries hanging over the sidewalk off, and he was like, "What are those?" And I was showing him they're mulberries. My grandmother used to make pies out of these. We had one in our backyard. I loved them so much. And he's like, "I don't know, those are just like weird berries you pulled off a tree." And I popped them in my mouth. And he was stunned. His face was just so comedically like, "What have you done?" And I just kept eating them because he was so stubborn, thinking like, "That's so gross." And I just kept eating them because there were hundreds and hundreds all around us. And finally he took one, tried it, and said that it tasted delicious. And eating random fruit off of random trees on our walk is not a Chips thing to do. So that was a really special joy moment for me. And then there's more, but the final joy moment I'll share with you guys, two more that I'll share real quick, is then he got me back because we continued our walk home and we were laughing and joking and talking about a super special thing that I'll get to tell you guys about soon that I'm doing for his birthday. And he kind of hip checked me, like hip bumped me, just to, because he does that when he's being playful. But because we were walking, my balance was thrown off and he threw me into a bush. He bumped me with his hip and I flew straight into a gigantic bush in someone's yard and he had to pull me out, and I was laughing so hard he almost couldn't get me out of the bush. So that was really fun. I really loved that too. And then the other final joy moment is that I'm really proud and I just having a great time with making the Sims 4 season's thumbnails, which is a little thing, but that's what I think joy moments should be about, are those little things that just give you a sense of like a flutter in your heart that is small. It's like a little butterfly or a little bubble. It won't be there forever, but to cherish it and measure it, some part of it will stay with you. And I'm really loving making my thumbnails in my Sims 4 season series, and they're not like 100% the best maybe, but they're just fun for me right now. And I'm really proud of seeing how my skill has developed and changed over the last 3 to 4 years to make some really fun thumbnails. So yeah, those are my joy moments. And they feel good, because I think those are the things we should measure our lives by. There's gonna be other things you have to measure your life by, of course, but those are the things that eating wild mulberries, watching a heron fly by, you just have to be present to enjoy. And that's kind of the power of it. I don't have to wait to earn it. I don't have to be worthy of it. I don't have to wait until someone can give it to me or I can buy it. It's just around me right now. And no matter how I feel inside, those things were happening around me. Like, I made the thumbnail, sure, but I mean, the walk with Chips, the heron, they're part of just being present and aware in life. And I can be as angry and disappointed in myself as I want, but if I can just crack that open enough to see those other things, now I have some joy moments to forever carry with me. So I'll stop rambling. It's been a very long week. I've pushed myself way too hard on work and recorded way too much, and I need a break and I need a little bit of a rest. But I also just wanted to share that with you guys. So thank you guys so much. I'm also really excited. I got to put this little origami crane that I made after so long into my joy journal too. And I hope you guys can have some joy of your own today. And if you're having a really hard day, I hope maybe this could be the advice to try cracking your heart open enough, that anger, that tension, just enough to even let in how beautiful something completely unrelated to you is. Because that can really go a long way in helping you to just regain your balance and carry on. So I'm hoping to talk joy journals, joy moments, make shorter little maybe once a week, Sunday maybe, joy journal vlogs, where hopefully you guys will feel encouraged to share the joy that you have had in your day. And remember, sometimes it can be really fun things like buying a Zakka kit and have it arrive to your door from Japan and get to play with all of the new stationery. And most of the time it's going to be things that you just have to be present to be able to enjoy. Fresh mulberries, birds, trees, the things that anyone can have in life. So have a wonderful day, guys. I really hope that you can find some joy.